Hi, I'm Jim Mirage, and we're on our way to see where I live. You're in Klamath County, Oregon, which is about the size of the state of Connecticut, but has only 60,000 people. It has Crater Lake on one end, Klamath Lake on the other, and is bordered by the Cascade Mountains. It is also home to one of the world's great ponderosa pine forests, where I live with my wife Tira, the only people in 100 square miles. See that flash? That's home. Let's make another pass. How did we end up out here, with me being from New York City and Tira from Connecticut? I guess the story starts in San Diego. We had just had our first child, our daughter Elizabeth, and I had finally found a job working for the county welfare department. We looked at our future and got scared. The kids off at school, us working at jobs we didn't like to pay for a house that we wouldn't have much time to be in anyway. It was the idea of time that hit us the hardest, or more exactly, the lack of time. We would be living a life we didn't choose. Someone else's life, really, a life without the time to find out who we really were. That desire for time was the beginning of many adventures. We began to dream of tropical islands where we would build our hut. The coconuts would fall from the trees, and we would have all the time in the world. Or cool tropical uplands where it would always be springtime, and we would live on fruits and vegetables that cost only pennies a day. We had dreams of spending the winter on retreat up in the Sierra Nevada mountains with Elizabeth and baby John. Or starting our own business and making a living with our hands. Or going on a long retreat on the California coast, and then finding 5 acres in the country and building a house ourselves, only to find everything too expensive. All these dreams would lead us to the forest, where the land was beautiful and cheap, but far from paved roads and power lines, and a mile high in the snow zone of the Cascade Mountains. It was here our schooling began in earnest about simple living and how complicated it was. The first thing we needed was a house, and quickly, for winter was coming. Making handcrafts and a bookcase or two hadn't really prepared us for this. But we muddled through by reading books, drawing plans on the backs of envelopes, and overcoming our biggest obstacle, which was the notion that had been pounded into our heads all our lives, that you bought houses made by professionals. You didn't just jump up and build your own. Once we got the house up, and it didn't immediately fall down, from then on we would simply build whatever we needed or wanted. When the kids decided they wanted their own rooms, we told them to build them themselves, and they did. With a roof over our heads, the days took on a rhythm of their own and grew into weeks and months and years. We would make bread. For a long time, that was the kids' job. We would do homeschool with the kids, and all of us would sit around the lunch table and discuss everything from tigers to tattoos. We would make tofu. Our electricity came from a solar panel, which was connected to a battery, and then to an inverter that converted it from DC to AC. We would cut and split wood and feed it to our wood stove made out of an old hot water tank. Slowly our eyes began to open so we could really see the forest around us. We never had a well, and we would haul drinking water from town in the summer and collect rain and snow in our little ponds for the garden. Growing a garden was a tough job when you're almost a mile high and can have a frost any month of the year. And if you do manage to grow something, the chipmunks are waiting to pounce on it. And each year there would be something new to build. Our favorite style was to dig some holes in the ground, cut and treat some poles, and then just go on from there. Not very complicated, but tiring at times. One year, Elizabeth decided she wanted to have a place of her own, and she just went out and built it. Another year it was Tira's turn. She wanted a little meditation hut.
She does it. I know. Can you hold it?
Yeah. One, two, three. Okay.
Wait a minute, I'm right in the way.
Did you get it forward?
Complete with a stained glass window, which we made from 1-inch thick slabs of glass. And little by little, the dwellers of the forest came to visit. In winter, it is as if we have moved to a completely different place. The snow can cover the ground 4 feet deep or more, leaving us to get in and out by skis or snowmobile. Back when we used to have some neighbors, Herb tried to keep the road open with his World War II 6-wheel drive Navy truck. We had hoped that by living in the forest we would find what we valued most, time. And we did. I found time to write book after book about the things closest to our hearts, Christian mysticism and metaphysics, and their dialogue with Eastern religions and Jungian psychology. And Tara started making videos about these same subjects that have ranged from straightforward interviews and conferences to complicated documentaries that took us far from home. But we have always come back to the forest.